When we got our test scores back, my friend asked me how many hours a day I study for. I gave him the same answer that I gave to all the 20 other people or so who've asked me this question. I don't even study every day. See, there are two types of students. The ones who study more than 10 hours a day, and the ones who probably study less than 5 hours a week. All students, whether they're straight A students, flunking, or average, will always fall into one of the two categories of studying a lot and studying a little. If you ask the people who get good grades in your class how many hours a day they study for, you'd be surprised to know that a lot of them study for less than you, and I myself am one of them. But my friend on the other hand didn't believe me when I told him this, and even when he told his mom didn't believe me. So if you and your mom think that I'm lying when I say that you can get your dream results without even having to put that much effort in, you might want to follow the advice that I give you in this video that's worked for me. Just do yourself a favor and save yourself from wasting time studying, getting bad sleep, and most importantly, all while being able to get good grades. There are many reasons why someone might get straight A's, but from my experience, I've summed it down to 2 points. Once again, just remember that there's no one-size-fits-all to this. Some people might actually prefer studying 10 hours a day, and I respect that, but I'd rather have more free time to do the stuff that I love doing. And with that being said, let's talk about the first point. See, picture this. Imagine you walk into class and you see everybody studying. You ask your friend what's going on, and he says that there's a test in 10 minutes. You realize that you haven't even studied anything because you didn't know what was going to happen. So what's your first instinct? Obviously to pull out your textbook or your notes or whatever you used to study and get to work. For those next 10 minutes, do you ever think you're gonna open up your phone and check TikTok or Instagram? Of course not. During those 10 minutes, you're gonna study as efficiently as you possibly can. Now imagine you gave yourself 10 hours to study it. Do you really think that you'd study that efficiently? Absolutely not. While you might be able to study more, your efficiency is drastically gonna decrease simply because you've given yourself much more time. There's this law known as Parkinson's law, which states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. And guess what? This applies to studying as well. Even if we don't realize it, we waste so much time studying. Quote unquote studying. Ask yourself, is it really worth spending hours highlighting and memorizing the textbook? It's kind of funny how before every test, my friends would always test each other by asking each other the meanings of words and other one-word answers. But exams don't test your memorization. They test your ability to answer questions. So what's the most effective way of studying? Doing past year paper questions. And if not that, just doing any questions you can find in a textbook or anywhere. I don't even like to use the term studying that much. Practicing makes more sense. So pretty much, when you give yourself less time to study, you can prioritize on what's actually important. Just like you should live every day like it's your last, study every day like it's your last 10 minutes to study before the test. Now comes the second part, the thing that I don't see many of these study gurus on YouTube talk about. If I had to give the biggest difference between my friends who sleep deprive themselves by studying and myself, I'd say is that I live quite boring lives compared to them. Rather than scrolling through social media, I prefer reading. Rather than staying up late playing video games, I prefer getting a good night's sleep. And what happens when you live a boring life? Everything else that seems boring, like studying, becomes less boring. I remember seeing this TikTok of this guy with the caption, "Me when I try studying, I need to check his phone every second instead of studying." The thing is, this is literally what 90% of people do. Your brain craves dopamine and it wants to do something more exciting, even if it's more useless. When you have these bad habits like your phone addiction or listening to too much music, your brain is obviously going to hate studying. So even if you tell yourself that you're going to study for 2 hours a day, if you're constantly yawning every second and reminding yourself that you hate it, it's literally going to be the most wasteful 2 hours of your day. Now I'm not telling you that you have to live your life like a monk. I'm just saying that if you cut down on the short-term pleasures of life, the more useful yet more boring stuff is going to seem more exciting. What happens when you do this? You live a happier and more fulfilled life. Oh yeah, and you get better grades. Living healthier has benefited my life in literally every aspect of my life. In the context of studying, even something as simple as eating a piece of birthday cake the day before can affect your performance on the test. You might not want to give up all of these activities, and I understand that, but it's actually easier to do than you think. There are many videos like mine and several others on YouTube, along with a lot of books on the topic. Anyways, that sums it up. How much you study doesn't depend on the time you study. It depends on your efficiency. You increase your efficiency by giving yourself less time and living a healthier life. Now that you know everything that you need to know, the only thing that's stopping you from getting better grades and living a better life is taking action. Absorb the knowledge by practicing it into your life, rather than just feeling motivated but not doing anything, which can be compared to highlighting the textbook. If you want to live a healthier life, check the videos on my channel. And if you want to know my philosophy for why boredom is actually useful, just check this video out. Anyways, have a great day and good luck for your next exam.